Good morning, everyone. It's been a busy one this morning, so thank you all for joining us. This is our first webinar in March, and we're really excited to present to you today and to show you the wonderful Hurtigruten. We've got a lot of new names today, so I just thought I'd give you a quick overview of who we are. So Panache Cruises was founded by the very well-known and successful James Cole last year. We've all had the pleasure of working with James previously, and we've all got a combined knowledge of about 100 years in the travel industry between us. We look after our customers from the moment that you inquire with us until the day you return back from your wonderful adventure, and nothing is too much trouble here at Panache Cruises. We don't have any customer service teams, admin teams, ticketing teams, so we really get to know our customers from the minute you inquire to the minute you come back from your holiday. We can tailor make any holiday. For example, to coincide with Hurtigruten, we could add on extra stays in Norway, South America, can add on the fantastic Rocky Mountaineer train in Alaska. Anything you want, we can do. Nothing is too much trouble for us. We can rest assured that everything with us is booking with confidence. It's really important at the moment to have a book with confidence message, and nothing is different here at Panache Cruises. We really want to make each trip as special as possible here. So anything that you need, we will do for you. Just a few things before I pass you over to Russell to start this very exciting webinar. If you have any questions today, feel free to pop them in the chat box at the bottom. If you wanted to just hover over your mouse, you'll see a bar at the bottom and there's a chat facility there. I will answer them for you at the end of the presentation. We'll have time to go through them all. And I am recording the webinar today, so I will get a copy sent out to everybody once we have finished. So, over to you, Russell. We're really excited to hear from you today and Hurtigruten.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, Natalie. Good morning, everybody. Thank you ever so much for taking the time out to listen to me talk to you about all things Hurtigruten. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm the key account manager here at Hurti. So my job is to talk to people like yourselves and work with our partners. So Panache are one of our key partners. They have such knowledge and expertise, as Natalie has been explaining to you, about all things expedition cruises. So as I said, I'm looking forward to telling you about what we do. I could actually talk to you probably for about 3 or 4 days. I know I've only got 30 minutes, so I've got quite a lot to condense in. So I want to give you a bit of a broad overview about what we do. Might be some things that I touch on very lightly, might be more detail that you're looking for. And again, a great team at Panache can help you with that. I'm really here hopefully to sort of light your fires and spark your interest in expedition cruising with us. So let's go through a few slides and see where we go, and we'll do a question and answer session at the end, or if there's anything you need to know, then please do get in touch with the Panache team. So we had a few technical issues, so I'm going to press the button and hopefully it's all going to work a-okay. Let's see. Here's some information about James and the team that I know Natalie has already covered. And here's the slides about us and what we do. So I'm going to start off playing a video, which feels very brave, but I think this is a great introduction to really bringing to life what we do. It can explain it probably in a much more clearly visual way than I can. So here we go. Hopefully you'll hear the sound as well. This is a bit where I'm always a bit nervous. Press the button and see what happens next. Perfect, it's worked, so that's good. So I hope that video gave you some insight to what we're about and what we do. Expedition cruises is just an amazing experience. Very, very different to white ship cruising, most definitely, and a really unique holiday. And I want to focus on the destinations that we do, because sort of the headline grabbing destination is always Antarctica. That's something that naturally people are drawn to and want to see and want to hear about. And it is an amazing place to visit. And it's important to remember the other destinations that you can do. Sometimes people not necessarily overlook them, but maybe don't consider, because of course the ships have got to get over and down to Antarctica to do the season there. So by doing that, we have to go through the Northwest Passage, down and around North and South America. We even visit the Caribbean, for example, even the East Coast of the US. And of course, closer to home, we do things like Iceland, and you can have an incredible expedition experience there, and as well as places like Greenland and Svalbard. So there's lots and lots of choice. So don't just consider Antarctica as the place to go, and don't just think about it as a cold weather holiday either. You can have some really wonderful holidays in the summer months in glorious warm weather too. And the expedition element of what we do, and I'll paint more of a picture about that, so bring that to life for you as well, so you can understand what I mean by that, is really, really there for you, and a great thing to be doing. So lots of different destinations. Could talk to you about individual ports of call in great detail. Of course, I can't do that too much today, but again, if you have questions or more detail of what you want to know. And the great thing about, please speak to the Panache team, and the great thing about holidays in themselves is looking at where you're going to go, investigating those destinations, learning more about them. And that is something that only expedition cruise holidays really can deliver for you. So those of you, I guess, will have some information or knowledge about Hurtigruten and what we do and our 126 years of operation. We're very well known for our Norway product on the coast. And it's a fantastic thing that we do there. And if you've experienced it, I'm sure you've enjoyed it. But expedition, in terms of what we do, is completely different to that product. So the business over the last sort of 5 years has really changed. So coastal is still very important to us, but we've seen huge growth in what we do from an expedition point of view, to the point where we have new ships. We have Roald Amundsen and Fridtjof Nansen, and these ships are absolutely incredible. They're a step change for us as a business. They're actually a step change for what's happening in the expedition world, in truth. And a big thing about them is that they're hybrid powered. So of course, you know, we visit all these destinations, and we need to leave a smaller footprint as possible. And one of the ways that we do that is using our hybrid powered ships. So they are actually battery powered, or have the capability of running on batteries. That technology is changing and evolving all the time. So at the moment, they can manage 20 minutes on battery power. The ships actually, internally, when you go on the ships, there's a room, and actually there's a small section currently with their battery packs in, and over time, as the technology improves, they'll be adding more battery packs in there, so they can then run off more battery energy. And the ships kind of almost run silent as well, so it's quite an amazing thing. So again, when you're absolutely in the middle of nowhere, in the wilderness if you like, and you're under that under the propulsion of the hybrid power, is an incredible thing, and is quite a different experience, and something you've got to try, quite frankly. So these ships, as I say, are really a step change for us, and also they're a premium offering. So again, very different to what we offer on coastal. Our expedition product is very much of a premium product line. You know, what is premium or luxury? That all depends on you and what your expectations are, and what you want and what you're looking for in your experience. But of course, when you're on an expedition cruise, you know, what I really like about that experience is to make sure that you don't lose the expedition element, that actually it's still about going ashore, it's still about going and see things. It's not about being sat in your cabin. Yes, you can have some champagne with us and very much enjoy that, but it's very, very laid back, relaxed atmosphere, getting to know your fellow passengers and of course our wonderful crew while you're going visiting these incredible places, because while the ships are important, the facilities are fantastic, where you're going to, what you're learning, your experience, that's the star of the show. That's what you're going for. And it doesn't matter if you're an absolute expert on these things and destinations and the wildlife that you're going to see, or you know absolutely nothing at all. You'll really learn, and we can really cater, and I'll mention this in a little bit more detail later on, for your requirements. So don't be put off that the ship's going to be full of sort of people that are really knowledgeable about this stuff. Yes, there will be some, but likewise there will be people that don't or have too much knowledge and are going to learn and develop. And of course, we're seeing, particularly with things that have happened in the last year with COVID, people are looking for bucket list experiences, and they're also looking to travel in a sustainable way, and they're also looking to travel and learn and see and explore new things. So these new ships are absolutely fantastic. They're 500 passenger ships. So in the shipping world, they're still very small in a cruise world, but of course there are other options with smaller ships, you know, 100, 200 capacity. So we feel that we've got a really nice balance of scale, so big enough to provide wonderful facilities, but likewise small enough for you to still get and experience that expedition holiday in a really comfortable, sorry, can't get my words out, comfortable way. Now, the star of the show also is our expedition team. They really are your hosts on board. I can't convey enough about their knowledge and their experience and how they bring it to life. So those elements that I've already mentioned about seeing and experiencing new things, developing your knowledge, these guys are absolutely the forefront of that. They're absolutely amazing. They really have in-depth knowledge, as the slide says. You know, they really are teachers and adventurers. You know, they absolutely love the wilderness. That's what they're out there for, and they want to take you along on that journey as well. They can help you with your photography, because that tends to be a really key thing. But then you've got the oceanography, always nearly stumble over that word, and the biology and all the wonderful animals. So there are lectures and talks on board the ship all of the time. The team are always available to chat and to talk to you. And again, depending on your level of expertise, they can cater for that, as I say, and they create this amazing atmosphere on board. They really, really do. And they make sure that you have an unforgettable experience and bring to life things for you probably wouldn't even have considered or thought about. And it's contagious, what they tell you or how they speak to you, and the talks and the lectures. It's amazing. It just really gives you a thirst for knowledge and really want to get more involved. You can tune out of that stuff if you're just looking for a bit of relaxing time as well. That option's there for you. Don't feel that you're sort of marched around and you must attend this and you must do that. Absolutely not. It's really, really relaxed and informal on board, but it's just their knowledge. It's inspiring. It really, really is. And they've got amazing tales and stories about their experiences and what they've done. And they'll be very pleased to see you on board and to talk to you about those. Now, in the heart of all of our expedition ships is the Science Centre. So the Science Centres act as a headquarters, if you like, for the expedition team. And here they have lots of facilities. They have the microscopes. They have screens that you can touch and explore, and virtual maps and things like that. It really is sort of the entertainment centre, if entertainment is quite the right word for it, on board the ships. And they're always on hand there. And again, that depth of knowledge, the quality of the equipment also that we have really, really makes this the heart and soul of the ship. They'll do lots of, again, the talks and lectures in this area as well, in the lecture theatre, which is right next to the Science Centre. And it really, really is a great facility. You'll spend lots of time. But with outside of the sort of expedition stuff, you know, we all want a bit of pampering and a bit of comfort. So our new ships, they have things like an infinity pool, which is kind of a novel, different thing for us in our thinking our old school product. But looking at our new stuff, we have an infinity pool. Of course, there's the wonderful hot tubs to relax in. There's a brilliant gym. There's even a running track on top of the ship as well. We have a wonderful sauna. So, you know, there are plenty of features in addition to the regular stuff that you might think that we have on an expedition ship. And as you can see also through these slides and these ones that I'm showing you now, you can see how nicely appointed the ship is and how premium they are when we are selling our expedition products. Food, of course, is really important, whatever type of cruise that you're going on. Of course, our food is influenced by Norway, being a Norwegian company. On these ships, and on Nansen and Amundsen, we have 3 different dining options. And again, this is, I could talk to you in lots of detail again about this, but this is where you need to speak to the Panache about how it works specifically on boards with food and the different restaurants and what you get and what you don't. There's full board on board our ships for expedition, so you get drinks included during your meals, so that's beer and wine and soft drinks, and there are all those little different connotations within there. So speak to the team at Panache and they can help you in more detail about that. But you will not be disappointed with our food. It's absolutely incredible. It will just be a difficult decision which restaurant to dine in and what option to have. But you will enjoy it, as I say. And then the cabins, a little insight to the cabins. So on our new ships, there are no inside cabins. So the polar outsides are the sort of lead grade. Then you have the Arctic superiors and the lovely suites that we have. As you can see, it's very Scandinavian, as I already mentioned. It's very sleek and modern on board. People come on board our ships and are wowed by our product and what it looks like, particularly maybe if they've got that preconception of what our stuff looks like when we do the Norwegian coast. I thought I'd talk a little bit sorry, I can't talk again. I thought I'd talk a little bit more about Antarctica and give you a bit of an insight to what we do there. And what's really great about the element of expedition is what we do. We're never actually entirely sure what will happen when we're in Antarctica. And that's obviously due to the conditions and the weather, what the ice melt is looking like, where the wildlife is. So the expedition team, every day they plan and they make provision for what will be happening, where to take our guests. So in regular cruising, I think customers are very much used to saying, right, today I'm doing this, I'm going there, this is going to happen. And there's an element of that with what we do in expedition, but also it can be, right, here's an opportunity to go and see where these colony of penguins are, or where there's been a sighting of whales, or whatever it happened to be, or there's a really great opportunity to do some ice cruising, so we're going to go and do that. So it really is very bespoke. So your experience on one cruise can look quite different to another one. But this slide here is just to give you a little bit of insight. I appreciate probably a little bit small, some of this writing on here, about the places that we go, what you might happen to see. And of course, you're now finding, unfortunately, you know, global warming's meaning that actually we can now go further south than we've ever been before. And again, that's opening up new places and new things to see as well. So no cruise is the same. There's lots of variety. And again, wherever you go and whatever you do with us, you'll have a great time. Now, a bit of a big leap from Antarctica to Dover, I know, but I really wanted to make sure that you're aware of our cruise options that we have from Dover. This is a new product for us. It's actually supposed to be happening now, or have started now, but due to COVID, that terrible thing, it's meant that we've not been able to operate that so far, but fingers crossed, things now seem to be going everybody's way. And hopefully we'll be able to start operating from Dover very, very soon. But this is new in the sense that this is an expedition product, an expedition experience. Again, very different from Norway and the coastal stuff that we do. This is taking you up to Norway. We've got 5 different itineraries showing you various different ways of experiencing, because the seasons, again, are so strong in Norway. So I just wanted to make you aware of this. Now, the ship that will be operating these sailings on will be on Maud. And Maud is a similar size ship to Roald Amundsen on Nansen. She's 500 passengers. And although she's not a brand new build ship, internally, she will look very, very similar to the pictures that I've already shown you. So she'll have exactly the same features as Amundsen and Nansen in terms of how she will look internally, the science centre, the restaurants, that product, if you like, that we deliver is very consistent across those. The ship's slightly different, but in terms of how she is internally in the facilities and your experience will be very, very similar indeed. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing her. It'll be really exciting. So as I say, she'll have the Science Technology Centre, the observation down, the main restaurants. Again, I just wanted to make sure that it was clear that this is a premium offering and it's full expedition versus the coastal options that we have. Again, these are what the cabins will look like. And as I mentioned, we've got 5 different itineraries and we're really, really excited. And of course, to introduce and to be operating these. And of course, with the event of COVID and what's happened there, you're seeing more and more ships doing more UK departures, and we've got some really exciting news in the pipeline for later this week. So do look out for those. Panache are fully aware of what's happening. I can't reveal too much about it, but there are some more options on the way for you. So look out for those because they will be really attractive option. So back to what we're doing from Dover. So 5 different itineraries. We've got some British Isles in there, 2 itineraries, one for 13 days and one for 15 days. So just slightly different, just in terms of the way they work and the destinations that you're visiting. Of course, winter Norway. And the big draw often for Norway in the winter is clearly the Northern Lights. And the great thing with doing this on an expedition cruise is longer time up above the Arctic Circle, greater opportunity to see the lights, but very, very different in terms of expedition and the things that you'll be doing and seeing. Also in the summer option with the midnight sun, because we'll be going to destinations and things that white cruise ships have never been to. So it might be that you've cruised to Norway many times already or have been, and you'll go to places that are off the beaten track that nobody visits. It will be a really, really wonderful and very different experience to regular Norway cruising. Lots of different departure dates, as you can see. And then we also have a Southern Scandinavia cruise as well. And that's something very different for us at Hurtigruten. And I think that'll be, again, another way to visit destinations in an expedition mode, which will be really, really different. And of course, do things like the Kiel Canal. If you've ever done the Kiel Canal, that's a wonderful experience and a real highlight and nice thing to do. So lots of variety in choice. So speak to the team at Panache. They can guide you and tell you about cabins and what the options are, again, as I mentioned. Now, we do currently have some offers. Offer-wise on Dover, on that product that I've just been mentioning, we currently have 20% off Dover. These are currently available up until the 31st of March this year. And then we have flight inclusive offers on expedition cruises. Great, both really strong offerings. On the expedition cruises one in particular, this is often the very best option that we have every year. Part of the challenge of where we actually cruise to is getting customers to the destinations with airfare. So actually taking the option with your flight included within the pricing is incredible value. And there are lots and lots of great options. And we're finding for 22 in particular and beyond, and even now into 23, as everybody's getting everything on sale as early as possible. The demand for these cruises is really strong. It's proving to be really strong. So unfortunately, lots of people have had to rebook for what's happening this year. They booked into 2022. Then people are looking for these bucket list experiences and to do something they may have never considered as a holiday before. So I'd really, really get after these offers if you can. Again, Panache can help you with all of these and give you that advice that I mentioned. But it is a really great opportunity. These are available until the 31st of March. Booking with confidence, clearly this is a very important thing. So our book with confidence messages is in place at the moment until the 30th of April. You know, whatever holiday you're booking, clearly this is something that you need to be aware of and you need to get right. So I'd really encourage you with whatever your plans are to make sure you're up to speed with the terms and conditions. Clearly you're protected very well when you book with Panache and through ourselves. And so therefore, you know, just make sure that you know that these schemes are available, that you will get refunds, that you can book with confidence, and you will get your money back within a quick space of time. We're promising to do that within two weeks. So as I say, Panache can guide you through this in a lot more detail, but I just wanted to highlight these messages are there. These are really important. Personally, they're very important to me on my own holidays. So make sure that you're clear and understand what the processes are in place when you're booking your holidays, but book with us and you have your the book with confidence messaging. Now, health and safety in COVID, I did want to touch upon this. It's clearly an important subject. I have got a little video to play. It's actually a little bit outdated. The problem with this stuff, it's so fast paced, but I wanted to put the video in so you could see what we are doing. Clearly, things are changing all the time. We are actually operating in Norway on our coastal program, obviously not for international travellers, but fulfilling its role up there. So we are very much at the forefront of the measures that are being put in place. We will absolutely be following all the guidelines and the requirements, particularly obviously from the FCO, as all cruise lines will be. You know, I'll be very happy to get on board. I think it will be extremely safe experience. So I'll play this video for you now so you can see a little bit of what we are doing. As I say, it is evolving all of the time, but your safety, our crew safety, is clearly very, very important to us, and we won't be doing anything that would put anybody at risk.
Your safety has been our first priority since we started sailing in 1893. COVID-19 has been challenging for us, but we are back stronger than ever. We have implemented strict health and safety routines to make traveling safe during COVID-19. We are sailing with reduced capacity to make social distancing easier. Our crew has had thorough training from Hurtigruten Academy. There is an onboard health and safety officer on all our expedition cruises. We have hand sanitizing stations around the ship. Before you enter our restaurants, you must wash your hands. We clean all public areas every 4 hours. Your cabin will be thoroughly disinfected before check-in. The pool and jacuzzi capacity is reduced, and it is mandatory to shower before. Before you embark the ship, you must answer a health questionnaire, sanitize your hands, and take a touch-free fever check. We have reduced the capacity in our fitness rooms. They are cleaned every 4 hours, and we also require you to disinfect equipment after use. You will find touch-free water stations on every floor. The capacity in the restaurants are reduced to make social distancing easier. For now, we have replaced buffets with individual servings. And the tables are sanitized between each seating. The kitchens are frequently cleaned and sanitized. Our menus are available using QR codes, and all physical menus are disinfected between each seating. We have touch-free payment stations in all restaurants, shops and bars. Avoiding cash promotes a safer environment. We are safer together. Come explore this beautiful world with us.
So I just want to emphasize the point about some of that is relevant to our coastal, it's clearly relevant to what will be happening in expedition, but it's ever evolving. So you'll notice, for example, some of the people weren't wearing masks. Well, will that be a requirement? So all of these things now have got to wash through. But as I say, whatever we will be doing will be fully compliant, and cruising will be a really safe holiday to go on, so you can travel with us, and I'm sure most and all other cruise lines with great confidence. Now, another huge thing that's really important to us is our environmental credentials. So I've already mentioned about the hybrid powered ships, and of course the importance of running also on LNG and biofuel. As we're a Norwegian business, it is something that is particularly important in Norway in terms of, I think they're a bit more ahead of the curve maybe than some other countries, including ourselves. So it's great to see that we take this so seriously. That is now becoming more apparent, I guess, here in the UK. But it's things like with the ships, more so on the coastal, where they can actually be plugged in and use electricity, hydro electricity, rather than burning fuel when they're in the ports. And again, that is just one of the, sounds like a small thing in a way, but one of the huge things that we do, the capability that we have that makes such a difference. And then also things like banning single-use plastic, you know, those things are, you know, those, in my personal view, those things are a given, you know, everywhere you go now, whatever it is you're doing, you know, there shouldn't really be much, if any, single-use plastics. We were the first to take the step in the cruise world to remove that. And it's almost something like you shouldn't be shouting about it, because actually that's something that people just expect. But these things, particularly about where we go and what we do, are really, really incredibly important. And you'll find that customers will be doing beach cleans, you're on an expedition, and you'll be doing beach cleaning, and you kind of think, oh, that's not really that exciting maybe, but actually it's a wonderful thing to do. It gives you a really, really nice sense of achievement, of giving something back, and it can be really involving. So there's lots of different things that we do. We have our citizen science program as well, which again you would learn a lot more about on board. And we do a lot of work where we're measuring wildlife numbers, looking at fish and stocks and what that looks like as well. So we do a hell of a lot of work in that area, and it's really important work and something that frankly we should be doing, and we do it very well. Oh, slide telling me it's my slide. So now I've come to the end of my presentation. Again, I feel that I have whizzed over a lot of information there, particularly on the destination front. But again, that's something that the team at Panache can help you with. If there's anything that you would like to know that we don't cover off today, I'll make sure that the team at Panache get the information if they haven't got it already. Thanks once again for listening to me. And if you have any questions, please do let me know.
Thank you. That was great. I hope you all enjoyed that. Has anyone got any questions that they would like asking now? Feel free to just pop them in the chat box. If you just hover over your screen, the panel at the bottom. We have had a few questions during the presentation, so I'll just ask you them now, so if that's okay.
Sure.
We've got a customer that is booked in February 22. They've already had their Antarctica cruise postponed. Just wondering if it was going ahead still in February 22, if you know anything on that.
Yeah, at this moment in time, we're very hopeful that everybody will be, or let's say everything will be back to normal in the awful world that I suppose that we're living in the COVID world. So yeah, I have every expectation that you'll cruise in 22, most definitely. And you know, we're still very hopeful that we'll see cruising this year. all within reason and what's possible. But I've got no reason whatsoever to think that you won't be cruising in 22.
Fab. That's what I like to hear. And will there be a vaccination certificate required? Have you had any information?
Yeah, so regarding the protocols and what will be required, that is all literally coming in the pipeline, I've been led to believe. I know that the task force, the government task force, met yesterday. And of course, there's lots of work being done behind the scenes. So we're expecting sort of imminent news on that and what that's got to look like. So I can't answer the question directly or give any concrete info, but I know it's coming and it will be here soon. You know, again, the demand and the need for people to get away and go on a holiday is very, very strong. So that's definitely going to happen. And of course, it just needs to happen as safely as possible.
Fab. And then just one more, the dress code on board, did we mention that?
No, I didn't. It's very informal on board, very, very relaxed, as you can imagine, particularly when you're on an expedition. You know, you're going ashore, you might have, you know, proper outdoor clothes on. So when you get on board the ship, so it's there's no dressing up in the evenings or anything like that. It's very relaxed. Again, it's premium, so you know people do. You know, you won't find people being too casual, but likewise, you know, there isn't any dressing up, but it is a lot less formal than maybe a regular white ship cruise.
Fab. Perfect. If anybody has any other questions, I will be sending the recording over once we've finished. And then if you have any questions, then I will be sending you from my direct email address, so feel free to send them to me. And if I can't answer them, I will ask Russell to help me out. But perfect. And just to let you know also, we do have an exclusive event offer, which is an additional discount on bookings. And that will be an additional 5%. I'll send all the details out again on the email, so you know all the information on that. But if anyone has anything they need from me, then please just feel free to get in touch. Perfect. So thanks everyone for joining today. Thank you, Russell.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks everybody for joining, and thanks to you guys at Panache as well. I really appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone.
Bye now.
Bye. Bye.